So the pictures for House of the Dragon, the spinoff series, has came out about 3 days ago, and I'm not impressed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Crow here, speaking with Let's Be Honest, Crow's Corner, where we talk about books, movies, rants, and more. And I had to get the night of the evening shade, or nightshade, or whatever fuck it is that George R. R. Martin be talking about. I had to get a little bit of that and drink a little bit of that to swallow down this concept of a plot that I feel is beyond savable at this point. Now, as you guys can point out from my last video, I wasn't too happy with George R. R. Martin as a writer. I still am not, as a writer myself, as a reader myself. But since we are now in the recording sessions for House of the Dragon, and we have our little screenshots, and things getting, dribbled out and slithered out, I have to feel like the tone for this show is not as hyped as, well, let's say season 2, season 3, when it first started out about 10 plus years ago. And I have to be quite honest with you about this situation. I feel like people are not interested in this anymore. Except for if you're a diehard Game of Thrones fan, then shout out to you. Shout out to you. I mean, if you stuck with it this far, you stuck with it. I guess you just stuck with it. I guess that's all I can tell you. I mean, and nothing can tell you any otherwise, where the ideology of discrimination, rape, and sexism, and the patriarchy that is so totally flawed, I guess that can't tell you anything and deter you away from this show. But I did see the actors and when their little Targaryen wigs from the screenshots, and I had to say the wigs have looked better, but the show to me is not going to be good. And I'm going to tell you the reason why it's not going to be good. I don't know if anybody has ever read the books, or if you are a show member and you've never read the books, I can literally tell you what the show is going to be about. But if they change it up, which I hope they will, it might succeed, but it is going to possibly fail. And it's going to fail probably plot-wise, but the idea of dragons will still keep people interested, because the CGI is brilliant for the dragons on there. Drogon just looked amazing. Rhaegal and as well as the other one, I can't remember his damn name, but yeah, they looked amazing. Those little dragons did look amazing, and if I am gonna watch it, I'm possibly going to watch it for the CGI in the dragons, personally. But if you don't know, that House of the Dragon is going to be taking place at the event of Dance of the Dragons, where it was a war of succession between Aegon II and his half-sister Rhaenyra over their father Viserys I's throne. And it was a war fought from 129 AC to 131 AC. It's based on these histories. If you must know, Rhaenyra, which is the Realms of the Light, she did not win that war. It was Aegon II, who was already crippled, who had his dragon eat her. Okay? And mind you, their son, I think he was Aegon the Third, Aegon the Dragonbane, I believe. He was the one who killed all of the dragons. First of all, this show is not going to succeed in a lot of ways, because you're starting at the wrong point. If we had went back to the portion of Balerion the Black Dread and Aegon the Conqueror in his conquest, I think this would have made for much more interesting television, especially when you have Visenya and you have Rhaenys and you have Aegon and you have these characters that we know nothing about strolling into conquest Westeros. it would have made the show more interesting, especially to see Balerion the Black Dread, because they say he's twice the fucking size as Drogon, if not more. So we don't know in an estimate what Drogon looks like. Like I said, and if you must know, I am not a George R. R. Martin fan at all. I don't particularly care for him. I do participate in the fandoms because I do love the friends that I've acquired from there. But personally, the show, and him as a writer is kind of ugh to me. But the only reason why I say that is because I do want him to get better and not be so reliant on other inspirations, and I mean that loosely, aka Tolkien and of course I just had his name, god damn it, I just had his name. He did Memory, Sorrow and Thorn, but I know it sounds so fucked up right now, but you know, I know he's relied heavily on these particular characters. Of course, Tad Williams. I am so sorry, y'all. Tad Williams. I've been reading a shitload of Stormlight archives right now. I was gonna say Brandon Sanderson, but I've been reading the Mistborn series, and I've been liking it so far. But just to defer from that fact, I'm just gonna say for this particular moment, the show is going to fail because we're going to see the same formula, people. And I don't, like I said, I don't know if you know, between Aegon II and Rhaenys, Rhaenyra, what happens is they're going to tell the same story of Dany once again. But this time it's going to be more insular, meaning that it's going to be within the Red Keep. It's going to be within Westeros and King's Landing, meaning it's not going to be that Rhaenyra is going to be across the Narrow Sea and talking about, I'm going to get my throne back. No, it's not going to be that way. It's going to be very insular, very inside doors, pretty much. When I say inside doors, meaning the conflicts will be inside the Red Keep. It won't take really place outside in Essos and all those places and things like that. And Vastarak, and it's not going to take places in those areas. So the situation is with Rhaenyra. If you do not know the story between the Dance of the Dragons, Rhaenyra was the claimant to the throne. Viserys was Viserys the First, not Dany's brother. Viserys the First had appointed her as to be the first queen of Westeros, and Alicent Hightower, who was his second wife, did not approve of that. She wanted her son to be, which is Aegon II. She wanted her son to rule the realm. She really did. She was not playing that. She was like, fuck y'all niggas on everything. And how can I say it like this? It ended up in the death of both claimants, but still, at the end of the day, how do you call it? At the end of the day, it's a raggedy ass story. I would have personally had them do the Long Night, if you ask me. I would have had them do the Long Night because I wanted to see the history of where the White Walkers came from. Like, nobody knows where the fuck they come from in the damn books, and nobody knows where the fuck they come from in the shows. Okay? And as well as I want to know what the fuck what the Night King was doing with all them goddamn babies, as far as I'm concerned, with Craster's children. And the show did not specify that, but they show as hell love to put a little infant on that bullshit. But the whole situation that I'm just trying to elevate to you is this show is going to be nothing but a listing of sexism, misogyny, underhanded racism, and just plain old incomplete plots, I'm pretty sure. Because the situation of it is, this is the same story that happened to Dany, but it's told differently. Like I said, it's more insular, it's more inside the Red Keep. It's not Rhaenyra fighting for the Iron Throne and building her army up from nothing like Dany did. Pretty much, if you must know, both claimants did die, but Rhaenyra was the first to die because she was eaten by a dragon. By her, I believe it was, I don't know if it was her own dragon or a dragon. I can't remember. I don't remember the details about this crazy shit. I just remember what he plagiarized off of more than the details. But this story is a setup to make you feel like possibly Rhaenyra may be the newborn Dany, but she will fail. And for me, I don't like that reaffirmation of women being not able to rule the Iron Throne. And before you go there, and like I said, say George R. R. Martin's a feminist. No, he's not. He dated feminists. Doesn't mean he is a feminist. Okay? And I'm pretty sure he writes this shit because he probably was sick of dating his feminist girlfriends. I'm pretty damn sure. So he decided to become possibly an incel. He is an old ass incel, if you ask me. But this story is going to be a wash and repeat. If you've read the books, you at least know some kind of history behind it, you will see that this is a repeat of Daenerys Stormborn's story, but in a more different fashion and in a more different kind of course. And mind you, the thing with Rhaenyra in her story, I have to say, that's so more volatile and so much fucked up is they rejected her based on the claim that she was just a female. It was Sir Christian Cole, who operated for the Greens, or operated for her first and then went to the Green side, that was the one to speak up and say that she was not fit for the throne based on the fact that she had a vagina. And I don't know, for incel women and incel men, and when I say incel women, I mean incel women who support these incel men's disgusting ass theories of women should be below them, and these women who keep on enabling this disgusting behavior. Of course, this show would be really wonderful for you to deal with. Now, I don't know what your personal traumas are, and I don't particularly care, but there is a therapist for that. Do not find your therapy within this fucking show. I'm just gonna be quite honest with you. This is where it's at. But who knows? Since the rights are sold to HBO, who knows? It might change. It might change at most. It might. It really might change, okay? It might change. They may make it to where Rhaenyra wins the Iron Throne, and that the books of Fire and Blood were based on simple ideology and a cover-up of history. I pray that it's that. And I pray that maybe there might be a cameo with Daenerys where she's going to Essos to get revived and she remembers her memories of or they reaffirm her Targaryen history and say, well, this is you're not the first woman to be scorned by the Iron Throne. You're not the first woman. You're not the first woman to do that. And she goes and gets revenge on the Starks, because the Starks did not end up... The Starks were the new Lannisters by the end of season 8. They literally were. The Starks were the new Lannisters. But just on some bullshit, pretty much. And from what we know so far, there has been no callbacks to the old cast. But I do like that they did the Sea Snake the way they did. He is a brother. I will say that. He is a brother, but... As a black woman myself, who's a novelist and a gay novelist at the core of it, I don't think that having a bunch of black people who are in the appropriate roles is going to solve out the fact that you are literally about to sit here and say that women aren't shit, pretty much. And I know the world and the filming industry is saying, like, well, you're the ones who say that white women are Karens, so why should you care about the character Rhaenyra? I care about the character of Rhaenyra, and I care about all women of all color as a woman of color myself. White, black, Asian, Punjabi, Hispanic, all the above. I care about all women of color, and I care about the message of you sending the fact that if a woman is strong and knows what she wants, and she is the claimant and the rightful heir, let's say, to the Iron Throne, or the rightful anything, I care that the fact that these producers, these writers, these people George R. R. Martin, the producers, the writers, are sitting here saying that no, just because she's a claimant does not mean that she's worthy because she has a vagina. And it's that same kind of hierarchy and patriarchy that goes on within America right now, and the reason why we've never had a female president, because they feel like women are unstable in some realm, which is bullshit if you ask me. Complete bullshit if you ask me. It's bullshit. It's based on stereotype. It's based on an effigy of hate and ignorance and the need to control based on, no offense, white males. And I don't like that they're going to tell this story over again. I would have loved that they told the long night. I would have loved that they told it, because we don't know what the fuck happened in that kind of situation. We don't know. Okay? We don't know what the fuck happened on the long night. We don't know what was going. It was so long ago that we don't know. But with this one, if you've read Fire and Blood, you know what's going to happen. Unless they change it. Unless they change it up. And the premise for me that I don't even particularly care about is that Aegon III, her own son, omitted her from the histories of the one who was the rightful fucking heir to the Iron Throne. He just let him pretty much just shit on his mom all damn day. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you don't know, Aegon III is Rhaenyra's son. So she kind of does get her victory, but in a bittersweet way. She's not alive to see it, but her son is. Complete bullshit still. But like I said, this show has had abysmal promotion. It has not been promoted. I know why they're not going to promote it. As hyped as it is, because people are still very, very bitter from Game of Thrones. They're very bitter. There's nothing to trust. And I think that is smart on the marketing team. That is smart. Don't hype it up so much, because if it falls to expectation, it is what it is. But then also, just as well, too, the times have changed from 10 years ago. Everybody discriminates on a show. Everybody discriminates on the show, no matter what you're doing. Everybody's discriminating on something. They don't like it for this. They don't like it for that. There's only a few to other shows that I have to say that I will go completely apeshit for. And the shows that I found to be more prominently better is Castlevania, which is coming up for its 4th season on the 13th on Netflix, which they have been slaying it completely. If I really want to tell you what show you should watch, to be quite honest, outside of House of the Dragon, wait for Castlevania, to be quite honest, because I've been binge watching the shit out of it, just trying to get my episodes refreshed and get everything. And vampires, Count Dracula, based on video games, these guys on Netflix have destroyed it. And not everybody is your motherfucking favorite nigga, okay? Not everybody's your favorite nigga on here. And it is Game of Thrones-ish. It does have that old fantasy feel to it. There's no dragons, but they're, well, not that we know of. It does have that famous kind of look. And it is cartoonish. It is in a style of anime, but the stories hit for every pound. And I don't think this story is going to hit for every pound. And a lot of people were discriminating on the actors and saying, well, homeboy from Doctor Who, he wasn't that good. And I do know that one of the Targaryens that's supposed to play Daemon, he was the guy who played Prince Philip in The Crown. And as far as I'm concerned, he was an asshole then, so he might do good, but I seriously do not give a fuck about Daemon Targaryen. I really do not. I know I'm ranting and I don't have a script, but hey, a bitch just has some Jameson right now and I had to speak on this. And I just had to be quite honest with you. I don't think he's going to hit. I don't think he's going to hit as a actor. And how could you even spin this whole war as something as sympathetic? How could you? And It may be it depends. I mean, like I said, it depends. If they don't include Nettles in this shit, I only am interested in Daemon Targaryen's story is because Nettles. If Nettles is not in this shit, why the fuck am I gonna waste my damn time? If they cut Nettles, I don't care. If they cut her, I seriously do not give a fuck. And also too, is so we can, I don't know, lessen our chances on colorism. Make Nettles a dark skin, please. Make her a dark skinned woman, because that's what she is. She's not a light skinned fucking woman. She's not a light skinned woman. Make her a dark skinned woman, please. Like, can we stop here? This is ridiculous. Okay? I mean, but this is new territory for them. Even though HBO thinks they have a gold mine because they fucked up on season 8, it's an unsure thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's an unsure thing. And like I said, so I'm just going to sit here and watch it and buckle up my seatbelts and prepare for the shitty ass ride that's going to occur. Like I said, the only thing that's going to be a wonderment of it is the dragons. And the plot doesn't make no sense. If they had started from the beginning, we would have seen how Targaryen history would have ran. We would have seen it. We would have felt it. We would have known it. But since we don't have that and you're starting in the middle, it's not going to be good. And as well as too, George R. R. Martin has not completed volume 2 to Fire and Blood. So once again, we are operating on a book that is not completed. Even though Dance of the Dragons was a completed story within his stories, we still are getting a half-ass rendition of his work, which is still plagiarized. And I will be doing a part 2 on his plagiarisms between Tolkien, Tad Williams, and even Garth Nix in some forms and fashion, because I am going to say it's a plagiarism, because it's one thing if you doing homage to an idea, but it's one thing if you take a person's idea and then you run through it all the fucking way into your damn book on every plot and every concept and every construction. So I will be speaking about that. That more is a more bigger project that I will be leaving for when House of the Dragon does premiere. But yeah, I had to just kind of just speak on a little bit about it too and see it and deal with it. But the lady who looks like Rhaenyra, she does look like her. She has that more thicker kind of ideal, and I enjoy that too. I liked it. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it. I know everybody's been going ape shit about it, but I'm just like, can we move the fuck on? But yeah, so thank you guys. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what's going on, if you approve of it, what you think House of the Dragon's gonna be in the comment section below. Let me know, because this is gonna be a dumpster fire waiting to burn half of California if I think that this is going to be anything of successful. And if it is, I may take my word back, but more likely not. But like I said, comment, like, subscribe, let me know what you think, and thank you. Goodbye.